Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, we will be talking about Chinese evergreen or aglaonemas. So before we get into this video, I would like to take a moment to say, please do like the video if you end up enjoying it, and it's great if you subscribe. So with that, let's start today's care session for aglaonemas. Please do excuse my voice because I'm unwell and it's not a good thing. So yeah. So these plants are very easy to care for. And sometimes I feel that do they even need some kind of care? Like seriously, on that extent. So these plants are native to tropical and subtropical regions of Southeast Asia, where they grow under the thick canopy of trees, making them shade-loving plants. Though the light requirements heavily depend upon the type of coloration that your plant has, if your aglonema has darker or even lush green colored leaves, these will do fairly well in lower light or shady conditions. But the plants having variegation or lighter or even pink or even bright red leaves such as Aglonema thyroid, these will need very bright light, making Aglonema plants extremely versatile in the positioning and light requirements. If you actually throw them in a dark room, whether the plant is green or brightly colored like the pink lipsticks, they will not do well. Not at all. Their leaves will lose all the bright color and patterns, and you are going to end up with green colored foliage. Though, if you give more light to the darker colored ones, they can take it, but not extended periods of direct sunlight. But if you give the same amount of extended direct sunlight to your pink or even red colored or even brightly colored ones, their leaves are going to fade and become brown and eventually damaging the plant. So now we are actually done with the most bushy subject for aglonemas, and so we will be turning towards the soil, watering, and other factors which affect these plants. So aglonema plants needs a well-draining soil. I personally like to mix my universal soil mix of garden soil and half a part of compost. So now we have half a part of garden soil, and I will be adding half a part of leaf compost to it. I also do not fertilize my plants regularly. So as you can see, there is a lot of organic matter which is decaying. And when we put this into our soil mix, there are going to be a lot of nutrients for our plants to grow. Literally every terrestrial plant which I own personally is grown in this kind of soil mix. So I do not need a fancy kind of soil, neither my plants do. So now we are done mixing soil which is well suited for aglonemas. As I also told you, I do not fertilize my plants regularly, and sometimes the time gap between fertilizers is as long as a whole year. But these guys do not need all that much. Though it's better to fertilize with compost every month because in nature they grow on damp forest floor, and there is always something or the other decaying and fixing nutrients into the soil. As I said, that they grow on damp forest floors, meaning they love moisture but not wet feet. So, water your plant only when the topsoil is dry or the leaves droop down. For me personally, it is not actually possible to do that to each and every plant because I just have so many of them. So, what I do is when the leaves start drooping down, I spray the plants down with my garden hose heavily, and my plants do not dry out quickly because they live under a thick canopy of a tree, which provides them perfect conditions to thrive beautifully. So, when it comes to propagation, making more and more babies out of them is actually very simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it. The first method which I'm going to talk about is growing them from cuttings, which is very easy. So as you can see, I have a pretty tall plant which is actually planted in the ground, and there are two nodes and the internodal section. Just cut in between that, pop that cutting into soil, and you will have plants. Here we actually have a stem propagated cutting just for reference. The second method, though, is going to test your patience because it is propagating from the pups which the mother plant produces. So, as you can see, I have a pretty tall mother plant and it has put out an offshoot which we call a pup. And so, you can definitely split this plant up while repotting, or if you want to desperately propagate your plant, then pluck it out of the pot and give its new individual pot, throw it into a condition or an area which has some kind of shade, and it will thrive. For me personally, the cutting propagation is the most tricky one because the roots grow quickly when you plant the cuttings directly in soil. But when it comes to water propagation, the cuttings do not root fast as they root in soil. So, this is actually my personal observation. It might work for you, it might not work for you. Also, as coming to the pest infestation, me personally, I have never seen a single pest on Maglonema plants because these are just so much resilient to pests. So, with that, I don't think I've left any area of the plant which is needed to talk about. If there is anything left, you can just comment down below and I will answer that. And now we will be ending today's care session of the Aglaonema plant. So please hit the thumbs up if you end up enjoying it and learned more about the Aglaonema plant, and also considering subscribing to my channel for more and more plants. So with that's it. Bye.